Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on Sunday, the 13th of December. In the news today, we'll have a chat about the cricket with the games going on in both New Zealand and Australia at the international level. There is more news on the concussion side of things in rugby. We have the result of Joel King's semi-final in the squash at the black ball tournament. We've had qualifying at Abu Dhabi for the final race, of the Formula One season. Canoe racing is back in action on the water, and Carrington has had a very good start back there again, and we'll also bring you up to date with the golf as well. Yes, let's get into that canoe racing then. And Lisa Carrington had her first competition in 10 months due to COVID at the Blue Lake 2 regatta in some very choppy and challenging conditions. First up, she won the K1 200 meters, a final before going on to team up for with Kayla Irami for the Open Women's K2 200 meter final, and then finally she also picked up gold in the K4 200 meter final along with Ryan Hatton and Irami in that canoe. So a really good start for Carrington, as obviously the Olympics in Tokyo become her focus. As for so many athletes at the moment. Moving on then to the rugby, and former All Blacks prop Nimai Tailata has confirmed that he'll be joining the concussion legal action. The 43 test All Black, a member of the 2007 World Cup squad, has said he'll be joining the legal action, not so much for himself, but to encourage other players to come forward and give them the support they need. He had a moment where he got punched in a game in New Zealand before and woke up on the. Or didn't actually realise what happened until he was on the subs bench, and the other player didn't get sent off, as an example of where the laws were not enforced the way they should have been. He also played in Bayonne, Toulouse, and Narbonne over in France, and now has problems with headaches and mood swings associated with the number of concussions that he had during his long career. We'll have to obviously we'll keep you up to date with how all of that is tracking. Carl Heyman is another one that is expected to be part of the action. The initial 8-strong test group includes Steve Thompson, the England hooker, who can't remember his winning the 2003 Rugby World Cup. England loose forward Michael Lipman and Welsh loose forward Alex Popham among the 8 in that initial group. In horse racing, sorry, I forgot to mention we were going to talk about horse racing this morning, and congratulations to Chris Johnson, who has now won 2,450 races, has equaled David Walsh's record of the most number of wins ever by a New Zealander. The 56-year-old managed it in the penultimate race on horse Point Score. He also had a horse in the final race, but didn't manage to compete in that one. So congratulations to him, and no doubt he will pass the mark and set a new lead in the near future. So congratulations to Chris Johnson on his long career that is still going. Moving on then to the Formula One, and over in Abu Dhabi, Max Verstappen has taken pole in the final race of the season in the Red Bull, beating out Valtteri Bottas into second and Lewis Hamilton into third in their Mercedes cars. It's a surprise, obviously, with the Mercedes having been the dominant cars this season. Lewis Hamilton says he still has feelings in his lungs and is not 100%, but is happy to obviously be back in the car. And clearly it's been a difficult weekend for him to get to find his rhythm. Again, it's been a very quick turnaround, let's be honest, for Lewis Hamilton to get back into that car from his COVID positive tests. Moving on to squash then, and boy, it was a cracking game in the in the semi-final for Joel King. Unfortunately, she came up short against Sarah Jane Perry in a marathon game. King was beaten 11-5, 11-13, 11-13, 11-7, 11-13. So all of the sets she lost went down to tiebreakers in a marathon game there. So her first semi-final of the year, but unfortunately not to be her first final of the year in that one. So in the Black Ball Open in Cairo, that's the final competition of 2020. In what has obviously been a strange year, but has also been a very good year for King, who has really stepped up her level in the world in squash. Paul Cole will be taking part in the men's event. He's the world number 4 and will be the 4th seed in the tournament. He'll face Victor Cronin from France in his first round, and that'll happen Monday morning New Zealand time. And obviously we'll keep you up to date with how Paul goes in his final competition of the year as well. Don't forget, this is your best way to start the day up to speed with all the important sports news. And we come to you at 7 a.m. every single morning on New Zealand, here on New Zealand Sports Radio. You can watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, or if you prefer, you can listen to the podcast that we put out recording every day. There's such New Zealand Sports Radio on your podcast, and you can listen to us on your commute to work, doing the gardening, or whatever else you fancy doing. Let's get up to speed with the cricket then, and it's the second test in the New Zealand versus West Indies series happening down in Wellington. If you remember, New Zealand posted a total of 460 in their first innings. In reply, the West Indies are in trouble at 124 for 8. Jermaine Blackwood with 69 was the only one to offer up any real resistance. 3 batsmen going for ducks, and only 2 other batsmen making it into double figures. Currently, Joshua Da Silva, the wicket keeper, is out there on 2, and Shemaine Holder on 5. So those 2 will resume the day resume the innings today. Carl Jamieson with 5 wickets led the way, including the having a potential hat-trick, but unfortunately, whilst everybody appealed on the hat-trick ball, it was going down the leg side. Tim Southey also chipped in with 3 wickets as well. Between the 2 of them, they took all the wickets on the day. It's a similar situation when New Zealand A are taking on West Indies A down in Nelson. New Zealand A have posted a first innings total of 481 for 7 declared. Michael Bracewell with 135 and Rachin Ravindra was 144 not out when they declared. Cam Fletcher with 48, Mark Chapman with 45, and Tim Sulfurt with 60 also all chipped in for that total. And the West Indies got through 9 bowlers drawing that one. When they came to reply, and Shane Mosley, or Shining Mosley, who opened the batting, is currently undefeated on 56, but he was losing partners all around him. Brandon King, Carl Myers, and Rovman Powell all went for ducks, meaning that he was joined by Nicholas Pooran, the captain and wicketkeeper, at 3 for 7. As I say, the West Indies have recovered somewhat from that, and are now 142 for 5. Shane Mosley and Kimo Paul, who's on 35 not out, will resume the innings today. Pooran and Allen with 26 and 21 both got starts, but didn't really go on to really score, which would have or which could have put West Indies in competition. This one, the New Zealand A also have got through 7 bowlers in their innings. Currently, Bracewell with 2 wickets is leading the way on that one. That's Doug Bracewell, not Michael Bracewell, who got the century. Folks, Michael Bracewell did have two overs, but for 10 runs and no wickets there. Also over in Australia, the Indians are taking on Australia A. The Indians being India A. Both sides went well. The Indians were bowled out for 194 in their first innings. Australia A only managed 108 in reply, with the top scorer of Alex Carey, the captain and wicketkeeper, at 32. The wickets were shared around, with Shami getting 3, Bumrah 2, Siraj 1, and Saini 3. In the India's second innings, they're making a much better fist of it there. They lost to Shaw cheaply at the top of the order for only 3, but Agarwal and Gill then put on a century stand. Agarwal, Gill going for 65 in the end, Agarwal for 61. Vahimra is currently out there on 104, with Pant on 99. Those two will resume today. Rahane also chipped in with 38 runs there. So 382 for 4, a much better fist of things by India in the by Indians in the second innings there. Moving on then to the Gulf, and at the US Women's Open, it's round 3 is currently underway. Lydia Ko currently is evens in round 3, which means she's 1 under par for the tournament, and puts her in tied at 10th currently. Shibunu is 6 under, leading the way. Amelia Garvey was going so well until 3 holes on the back of 9 meant that she lost a bogey, triple bogey and a bogey, losing 5 shots to leave her at 4 over par, which was just 1 shot off the cut. Meaning that she missed the cut for the weekend. That triple bogey in particular really hurting her there. She was going so well. I say, apart from then having those 3 holes back to back, which saw her drop out of the tournament. It's her first time at a major, so it'll be a fantastic experience for her. I'm sure she'll learn plenty for it. But to say, Lydia Ko in tied 10th, still in contention. Will need a bit of a charge to catch up the 5 shots that she's behind Shibunu, but say just early in the 3rd round currently. Over in the European Open, they finished their 3rd round at the DP World Tour Championship. Cantor of the UK is Fitzpatrick, and Reed of the UK, Reed of USA lead the way at the moment in a tie at the top there. All 3 of them on 11 under par. with 4 other golfers at 10 under par as well. Means that it's obviously going to be a very, very tight and contested final round there. And tomorrow we'll let you know how that all panned out. Over in the football, and don't forget that we have 3 games in the ISPS Handle Women's Premiership today. Central Football taking on Southern United, Canterbury United taking on Northern Lights, and Waitakere taking on Auckland. And we had 2 games yesterday in the men's Premiership. Wellington Phoenix beating Hawke's Bay 3-0. That start had to be delayed as Hawke's Bay were late getting to the ground from the airport as their coach, the coach was running late. So obviously not the ideal preparation for them. And then in the second game yesterday, Waitakere United and Hamilton Wanderers fought out a 1-1 draw. Eastern Suburbs will play Team Wellington, and Canterbury United will play Auckland City today. Bring you those results tomorrow, obviously. And at the moment, Hamilton Wanderers, with that draw yesterday, sees them still sit top of the table. That's a fantastic result by Waitakere United, considering they've only had 1 win this season, holding the league leaders to a draw in that one. There's plenty of cricket action today, also with the Ford Trophy taking place, folks. So we will bring up to speed with those results tomorrow. Otago Volts playing Northern Districts, Auckland Aces playing Wellington Firebirds, and Central Stags playing Canterbury in that one. So yes, also unfortunately in the skiing over in Courchevel, Alice Robinson did not finish in the giant slalom. Weather conditions were tough, with snow actually falling during the race. Obviously, conditions and also fresh snow on the course made it difficult. After the first run, where she was third to start, she finished 6th in that one. But when her coach had set up the course for race 1, remember that's the first time that a New Zealander has set the course. Pardon me. She earned the rate for that over her good results recently. Unfortunately, she didn't manage to finish the didn't manage to finish the second run, losing her left ski and crashing in the second run there. Moving on then to don't forget also that there is the beach volleyball is taking place today. We have the Karipura Open at the moment, and I'm trying to just quickly bring up the so I can't find you the results for that quickly enough for this show, but I will bring you up to date with all of that tomorrow. Today is also the finals day, the second half of the tournament, so we'll let you know how that tournament is going. Robert Bull says United derby 0-0 at half time. I'm not sure which derby that he's talking about there in that one. But probably, I'm guessing, in the English Premiership. But yes, one of those tournaments we don't cover here on New Zealand Sports Radio, I'm afraid. Robert, if you'd like to come on and be our football correspondent, we'd more than love to have you as part of the show. And if there's a sport we don't cover that you follow and that you would like to have reports, then do let us know. And if you would like to be our correspondent for that sport, that would be fantastic. Either giving us recorded reports for the show, or coming on live, or even having your own show, a bit like the Driving Maul show, or swinging from the hip. So please do, if you'd like to be part of New Zealand Sports Radio, then do get in touch with us here. You can either do that through Twitter at Driving Maul, or you can email me, paul@nzsportradio.com. Hope you've now started the day the best way, up to speed with all the important sports news. Have a fantastic one, folks, and have a fantastic weekend, folks, and we'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. with the morning sports briefing.